Nice.
We are back, and I'm speaking with Ted Neward, and we are speaking about the most important topic today that we will be having in an hour or some-ish, hour and a half.
We're talking about beer?
Beer will be at 8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
You know, we'll have a concert.
Well, you did say the most important topic, so I figured that was beer.
I thought that would be your keynote presentation. That is why in the next 5 years, languages will be the main topic. Something,
Wait.
something, something.
Am I doing a keynote?
You're doing something?
I'm doing a keynote?
I don't know. Are you? Are you ready? Not really? Hold the cats.
I will be in an hour. Yeah. Basically, why over the next N number of years, where N is debatable, 5, 6, 7, whatever, we're going to see a huge surge in people exploring, playing around with, introducing, creating, modifying programming languages.
Why is that? Just let me know in the simplest way you can, because it's past 3 and everybody's tired.
Mostly because it's about time. To be very blunt, it's about time. About every 10 to 20 years or so, we see a new thing, a new ism sort of appear, usually because programmers are human, fallible creatures, and when...
Like since when?
Like since forever? I know.
Been missing.
I know. I hate to ruin your opinion of us, or our opinion of us, but yeah, we're human. And it turns out that we can only keep so much stuff straight in our head all at the same time. And every time that load gets to be too much, we look for a way to sort of level up. Usually that's with the introduction of a new language. And there's a perfect storm of variety of forces all kind of coming together to make it a useful and welcoming time to start experimenting with languages again.
And what do you think should be the experiments? Like what languages should be evolving?
Well, so for example, if you look at C#, I mean, this is a programming language that is now in its 8th, 9th revision, 10th, 11th, depending on how you want to count. And fundamentally, we haven't seen a substantive language shift since the introduction of object-oriented back in the late 90s. Well, I should say mid-90s is when C++ really starts to take off. And we really haven't seen anything come to challenge that. But right now, if you want to sit down and do like a service, if you want to build a microservices-based architecture, you've got so many different things you've got to keep track of. You've got to think about how your objects will map to the various API endpoints. You've got to figure out how your objects are going to transform in and out of JSON and or XML, depending on how old school your services are. You've got to figure out how you're going to handle some of the security, the authentication and authorization concerns. You've got to figure out how you're going to deal with various administrative things, logging, feature flags, all of this stuff. And what a lot of people are doing is they are looking to embed a lot of that into configuration files that are run by frameworks. And James Gosling, the guy who invented the Java programming language, has another great quote attributed to him, which is to say, every configuration file turns into a programming language eventually.
Sounds about right, though.
So in a lot of respects, we are starting to see a crop of new languages appear. Ballerina, Dark, Jolie, some of them from the academic community, some of them are still in very sort of quiet beta. But the point is, people are starting to experiment with this notion of what a service-oriented language would look like. And that only addresses one aspect of some of the things that we're dealing with in terms of distributed services. We still haven't really solved the concurrency problem at all. We have a variety of different tools that we use to store data, and how do languages map to those? And we haven't even come close to solve the user interface issues, because right now, if you want to build a UI, you're literally building all of the components by hand, and you're moving them. You have to use tools like CSS. Thank you, Lemon. We don't hate CSS anymore. You have to create all that shit by hand. And right now, to create a hello world application in your favorite modern microservices, 12-factor application style architecture, that's measured in months. And when something like that reaches that level of complexity, we're due.
It sounds like it's about time, and all of this will be in an hour and a half and ish on the main stage. So that is nice, and we have like 2-ish minutes left for everything else.
Okay.
And everything else can be, you can talk about your 4 cats and 9 or 7 tablets and phones and your utility bills about that. Or the more important topic, the thing that you are a busy guy. And tomorrow you will have a second presentation.
Yes.
Can you put it down right now in a minute?
What do architects do for reals?
Done. Bye. Bye, sis. We'll see you on the main stage. Yeah.